Hello, good day, Doc. So today I'm going to discuss about the generic competencies in an integrated model of teaching. So what are the generic competencies? So these are the key points. It is beyond subject-specific knowledge, skills, attitudes, or values, transferable, applicable across contexts, academic, professional, or personal. It's also essential for 21st century navigating complexity, adapting to change. And these are the examples: critical thinking, problem solving, communication, collaboration, creativity, digital literacy, and self-management. So now let's start by defining what do you mean by generic competencies. So unlike the subject-specific knowledge, knowing the dates of a historical event or a specific math formula, generic competencies are broader skills, attitudes, and values. Think of them as a soft skills, 21st century skills, or transversal competencies. So they are transferable, meaning they can be applied effectively across diverse disciplines, workplace, and real life situations. So it is also a rapidly changing world. These are becoming increasingly essential. They equip our learners to deal with new challenges, innovate, and thrive not just in their careers, but as individuals and citizens. We're talking about things like critical thinking, problem solving, effective communication, which is the ability to work with others, fostering creativity, being digitally literate and managing oneself efficiently. Next, why generic competencies matter. So these are the key points. Future ready learners, equipping for unknown future challenges, lifelong learning, fostering adaptability and continuous growth, holistic development, nurturing well-rounded individuals, then complex problem solving, interdisciplinary issues demand integrated skills, and the last, global citizenship, responsible, engaged individuals. So why should we prioritize these generic competencies? Of course, firstly, we're preparing students for jobs that might not even exist yet and for the worlds that constantly evolving. Content knowledge alone won't suffice. They need the skills to learn new content, adopt, and innovate. This fosters a mindset of lifelong learning. The secondly, our goal is holistic development. We want to nurture a well-rounded individual who can contribute meaningfully to society, not just individuals who can recall facts. The third one, the real world problems we face today, like climate change, global pandemics, or economic inequality, are incredibly complex. So they don't fit neatly into one subject box. They require interdisciplinary thinking and a combination of skills. And finally, in our interconnected world, developing global citizenship, the ability to understand diverse perspectives, and collaborate across cultures is more vital than ever. Generic competencies are the bedrock for these vital outcomes. Next, let's go on to the introduction to integrated model of teaching. So these are the key points: breaking down silos, moving beyond isolated subjects, interdisciplinary connections, linking learning across subjects, real-world context, learning situated in authentic problems or projects, then holistic approach, focus on the whole learner and interconnected knowledge. Then last, the contrast differs from traditional fragmented curriculum. So now let's talk about the integrated model of teaching. So this model challenges the traditional approach where subjects are taught in isolation, math in 1 hour, science in the next, history after that. Instead, it advocates for breaking down these academic cells. So it's about finding connections between disciplines, weaving them together around common themes, big ideas, or real world problems. So, for instance, a unit on water could involve the science of the water cycle, the history of water usage, the math of water conservation, and the literature of rivers. So the goal is to make learning more relevant, cohesive, and authentic because that's how knowledge and skills are truly applied in the real world. So this approach focuses on the whole learner and recognizes that knowledge isn't compartmentalized, it's interconnected. Next, we have the synergy integrating generic competencies. So these are the key points. Natural alignment competencies best developed in integrated context. Purs- Purposeful learning, students see direct application of skills, deeper learning, application analysis, creation beyond recall, then engagement, relevant learning fuels, motivation, and last, efficiency, it will develop multiple competencies simultaneously. So this is where a magic happens. The synergy between generic competencies and integrated teaching model, these two concepts are perfectly aligned. Generic competencies aren't typically learned by simply being lectured about them. They're developed through doing. And what better way to do it than is integrated, authentic context? When students are tasked with solving a real world problem that requires them to apply scientific principles, historical understanding, and mathematical calculations, they naturally engage their critical thinking, problem solving, and communication skills. They see the purpose behind developing these skills. So this approach fosters deeper learning because it moves beyond memorization to application, analysis, and creation. And crucially, it increases students' engagement and motivation, and they find relevance in their learning. Plus, it's efficient. You're developing multiple competencies simultaneously within a single meaningful learning experience. Next, these are the key generic competencies and integration. So first, we have the critical thinking. So first, in critical thinking, the integration, analyzing complex global problems, example climate change, impact pandemics, evaluating multiple perspective in historical events, dissecting scientific theories and methodologies, identifying bias in media. So when we talk about critical thinking, it is integrated unit on urban development. Students might analyze city plans, evaluate the environmental impact on infrastructure, or compare different urban planning philosophies, honing their critical analysis skills. Then another one is the problem solving. Integration, designing and prototyping solutions for local community challenges, conducting scientific experiments to answer research questions, solving multi-step mathematical real world problems, troubleshooting technical issues in a project. So when we talk about the problem solving, instead of just learning formulas, students could design a sustainable water filtration system for a local community, requiring them to identify the problem, research solutions, and test the prototypes. Another one is the communication. So presenting interdisciplinary research findings or findings oral or visual, collaborating effectively on group projects, written or verbal, articulating and defending arguments in debates, creating persuasive multi-genre text, reports, videos, infographics. So when you talk about the communication, whether it's presenting their findings from a science experiment to a community board, writing an argumentative essay on a social stat issue that draws from history and economics, or collaborating to create a shared digital presentation. Communication skills are constantly practiced. Another last one is the collaboration. Engaging in complex group projects requiring shared responsibility, providing and receiving peer feedback constructively, participating in inter-school or global initiatives, learning to negotiate and compromise. So when you talk about the collaboration, integrated projects often necessitate teamwork. Students learn to share responsibilities, manage conflict, leverage diverse strength, and work towards a common goal, mirroring real-world teams' responsibilities. So another generic competencies and how they integrate. So first, the creativity and innovation, designing new products or services based on identified needs, developing original solutions to open-ended challenges, creating artistic or multimedia interpretations of concept, engaging in divergent thinking exercise. So this is how we are going to integrate that, or this is an integrated approach, provides a canvas for creativity. Students might invent a new sustainable materials, design an innovative solution to a global health issues, or express their understanding of historical period through a creative art piece. Next, we have the digital literacy, conducting ethical and effective outline research, analyzing data using software tools, creating digital presentations and portfolios, understanding cyber security and responsible digital citizenship, coding to solve problems. So when we talk about the digital literacy, in almost any integrated project today, student will need a research outline, use various digital tools for creation and communication, analyze data, and engage responsibly with digital information. Next, self-management, managing complex project timelines, setting personal learning goals, engaging in metacognition, reflecting on one's own learning process, adjusting strategies based on feedback, demonstrating resilience in challenging tasks. So this is when students manage multifaceted projects. They learn to set priorities, manage time, and adapt their plans when faced with unexpected challenges. And also the builds essential life skills. And the last, we have the global and cultural competence. So studying diverse global perspective and issues, just like poverty, human rights, engaging with international current events, cross-cultural communication projects, understanding interconnectedness of global systems, just like economic, environmental. So just so it is by studying this complex global issues like climate change or poverty, students are exposed to diverse cultural contexts and perspectives, learning empathy and understanding the interconnectedness of our world. Next, we have the practical strategies for integration. So these are the key points: project-based learning, tackling real-world problems over extended periods. The second one, inquiry-based learning. Student ask questions, investigate, construct understanding. Next, design thinking challenges. Emphasize or empathize, define, ideate, prototype, test. Next, we have the cross-curricular units. Teacher collaborate on common themes or problems. And the last, authentic assessment, performance tasks, portfolios, presentations, and simulations. So, when we talk about the project-based learning, this is the cornerstone where students work on extended projects that require them to investigate, create, and present solutions to complex real-world problems, naturally weaving in multiple competencies. So when we talk about inquiry-based learning, It is students drive their own learning through asking questions, exploring resources, and constructing their understanding rather than passively receiving information. And design thinking strategies, it is this iterative process helps students empathize with users, define problems, iterate solutions, build prototypes, and test them, fostering creative problem solving and collaboration. So when we talk about cross-curricular units, this is involves teachers from different subjects collaborating to design a unit around a central theme or complex problem. It will ensuring a truly integrated experience for the students. So the last, we have the authentic assessment. So moving away from traditional tests, we use performance tasks, portfolios, presentations, and simulations where students apply their competencies in meaningful ways rather than just recalling the facts. Then teachers evolving rules. So these are the key points. The teachers, we are the facilitator and coach, guiding learning, providing individualized feedback. So as the teacher, we are going to, our job is to guide our student inquiry, provide individualized support, and offer timely, actionable feedback. And then you also become a curriculum designer, which is crafting integrated competence, focus, experience. So we become this what we call curriculum designer, which is we are crafting integrated learning experiences that explicitly targeted specific competencies. Then our assessment or assessor of competences using rubrics observation for skills development. So our assessment practice shifts were no longer just grading content, recall, but assessing the demonstration of skills using clear rubrics and observation. But the most importantly, we're also a collaborator working with colleagues for seamless integration. So we're also working with our peers, co-planning and co-teaching interdisciplinary units. And of course, finally, the model of competencies demonstrating desired skills themselves. So this is very important, or the very important competencies which we want our learners to develop, demonstrating critical thinking, adaptability, and effective communications of in our own practice. And the benefits of learners, these are the key points: deeper understanding, connect knowledge to real world application, which another is to increased engagement and motivation, relevant, meaningful learning. Then next, we have enhanced transferability of skills, competencies useful everywhere. Greater agency and ownership. Learners take responsibility for their learning. The last, preparation for life and career, which is skills highly valued by universities and employers. So the benefits of our learners are profound. They develop a deeper, more meaningful understanding of concepts because they're applying them in context. So their engagement and motivation soar when learning is relevant and challenging. So they develop truly transferable skills, realize that critical thinking or collaboration isn't just for one class but for life. This approach fosters greater students' agency and ownership over their learning journey. Ultimately, it prepares them not just for the next test, but for the complexities of higher education, the demands of diverse careers, and the responsibilities of engaged citizenship in a rapidly changing world. And these are the skills that will empower them for lifelong success. And we have the challenges and considerations. So first, we have time and resourcefulness. Planning or significant planning, collaboration, very required. So of course, such a significant shift doesn't come without its challenges. So implementing an integrated competency based on model requires significant time and resources for the curriculum redesign, professional development, and collaborative planning among teachers. And next is we have the mindset shift. So for teachers, students, parents, and administrations, not just for teachers but for students who are used to traditional grading, for parents and for school administrators. And the next, assessment complexity. It will increases. It's more challenging to design and manage continuous, authentic assessment that truly capture competency development. And we also need a careful curriculum mapping, of course, to ensure all essential content and competencies are adequately addressed. And finally, this requires strong system support. So, from school leadership, district policies, and even the national education frameworks to truly thrive and sustainable. So, moving forward, the actionable steps. Start small, identify one competency, integrate into one unit. So don't try to change everything to at once. Perhaps select one key generic competencies and integrate it deeply into one specific unit or project initially. So next we have the collaborate, form professional learning competencies. So we need to form professional learning communities or across or cross departmental teams, teachers learning for or from and supporting each other is vital. Next we have the provide professional development. So invest in ongoing training that focuses on pedagogical shifts, not just theoretical concepts. Next, communicate clearly. So it explains the why, the rationale, and benefits to students, parents, and of course to colleagues to foster understanding and buy-in. The last one you have gather feedback and iterate. So this is the ongoing process. Continuously collect feedback, assess what's working and what's not, and be prepared to adopt and refine the approach. And that's all, Doc. Thank you.